Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about, so I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Paul Pogba, and which midfielder should Manchester United sign in the summer transfer window, because there has been quite a few midfielders on Manchester United's agenda. So I am, going to be talking with you about that. But yeah, so we'll start with the news on Paul Pogba. So as you all know, Paul Pogba has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Now, reportedly, Paul Pogba's priority is to join Real Madrid in the summer transfer window. Now, obviously, Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with the player. There's also been talks of, Paul Pogba making a return back to Juventus, because don't forget, Paul Pogba did endure 4 good years in Turin. And then obviously, we re-signed Paul Pogba back in 2016 for £89 million. So he is our most expensive signing. And he's now into his 4th season as a Manchester United player since he rejoined. And analysing the vast majority of his analysing the vast majority of his performances, they're being totally comparison to his ones in Turin. Also, PSG and Barcelona have been in for Paul Pogba in the past. Now, obviously, revert back to last summer, Paul Pogba's preference was a move to Real Madrid. But the main explanation why his move to Real Madrid last summer didn't materialise is because we priced Paul Pogba out of the transfer market, because we quoted out that wanted around £180 million for him, and that's just over double than what we paid for him. Real Madrid were reluctant to pay the £180 million that we was demanding for the player. I still believe anyway that Paul Pogba does want to leave Manchester United, so he has got the same perception as what I had last summer, because last summer he revealed that he wanted to leave to rejuvenate his career. But yeah, since he rejoined Manchester United from Juventus back in 2016, he's had a long-running transfer saga as Pogba. There was also talks about him leaving under the Jose Mourinho era because he had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho. There's also, been talks of, a few swap deals happening possibly. Obviously, there's been talks of Aaron Ramsey coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. There's also been talks of De Ligt coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba, making a return back to Juventus. Because obviously, disregarding any swap deal, Manchester United have confirmed that, we want around at least £100 million this summer if we do decide to sell Paul Pogba, maybe even more than £100 million. Now, obviously, a couple of weeks ago now, quite a few weeks ago now, in Solskjaer's press conference in Austria, he actually said that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. So basically, then he was reiterating what Pogba had said, because Pogba had said, he was interested in staying at Manchester United, and he was interested in extending his contracts at the football club. I think the main explanation why he revealed that he was interested in staying at the club, because he believes he can form a partnership with Bruno Fernandes, because Pogba is aware of the impact that Bruno Fernandes has made, because Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. 3 goals, is it? And, 3 assists, I think it is. Manchester United, of course, paid £68 million for Bruno Fernandes, with add-ons included. And he's definitely, the best player we've recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era. So he's definitely, making the difference in the team. But Solskjaer wants someone to partner up with Bruno Fernandes. But, Pogba will definitely play again for Manchester United, because when the season does eventually resume, Pogba, will play again. And I think, Pogba will go well alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. With Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in our starting 11, we'd obviously put Bruno Fernandes in the number 10, and Pogba would be probably playing in the number 8 role, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, so Pogba, as it stands, he's got 2 years left on his contract at Manchester United, 1 year with an option of a further year. I think it's likely, that Man United will trigger that 1 year extension on Paul Pogba's contract. That's what I think we'll do. But also too, Pogba has sustained quite a few injuries, as a Manchester United player, especially this season. Paul Pogba's only played 8 games this season. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. But, we have not yet resolved Paul Pogba's future. And obviously, Ed Woodward wants to get his future resolved because don't forget, Ed Woodward has been in negotiations with Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola. Obviously, to resolve his future and to obviously, stop Mini Raiola making public attacks against the football club. Because Mini Raiola, since the turn of the year, he's made a number of public attacks against the club, and Man United have been very, very critical of it. But at least in the last couple of years, Mini Raiola has been working on getting his client a transfer completed away from Manchester United. But he said the other day in the mainstream media that we was confident we can keep Paul Pogba because we're sceptical that Real Madrid or Juventus can finalise a deal for him. But yeah, so Mini Raiola was saying that, it's likely Pogba will leave Man United in the summer if we fail to qualify for the Champions League. He also said that, he wants to take a great footballer to Real Madrid. So Pogba could still end up making a move to Real Madrid because Zinedine Zidane's a big admirer of the player. Don't forget last summer, Real Madrid, I think, recruited around 5 or 6 new players in. They got Luka Jovetic from Frankfurt for 60-odd million. They got Rodrigo in. They got Ferland Mendy. They got Eder Militao. They also got Eden Hazard in. So they did make quite a few signings, did Real Madrid. Also, too, they lost a few of their imperative players. They lost Dani Ceballos and Mateo Kovacic. They lost Ronaldo in the summer of 2018. So they do want to get a deal finalised for Paul Pogba. But if we do sell Pogba in the summer, it's very imperative that we do get more money than what we paid for him. He's not only our most expensive sign, don't forget he's one of the highest paid players at the club because Pogba is on around £300,000 a week at Manchester United. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger, don't forget, under the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, we had to let him go under the Ferguson era due to limited appearances. And Pogba is, 27 years of age. Everyone's got different perceptions on him. Some United fans believe we should sell him because it would help us with our rebuilding process, and it'd free up our wage bill completely. And some United fans think he will leave, in the summer, and some United fans think he will stay at least for another year. Maybe another main explanation why he could possibly stay is due to the coronavirus pandemic. Due to this coronavirus pandemic, teams could, lose millions in transfer revenues and stuff like that. So it's very, very bad news. But anyway, that's the latest news on Paul Pogba. So I think his priority is to join Real Madrid in the summer transfer window. So, which midfielder, should Manchester United sign in the summer transfer window? Now, there has been, like I said, quite a few midfielders on our agenda. So, like I said yesterday on my video, if Pogba leaves, who should replace him at the football club? Now, one midfielder that's been on our agenda, and that's James Maddison from Leicester. I've been talking with you guys about James Maddison on a regular basis. Now, James Maddison, has fueled a bit of speculation up because he came out yesterday and revealed the best players he's ever played with, and that's Rashford, Harry Maguire, and Jadon Sancho. Now, I'm still very sceptical that Manchester United will sign James Maddison in the summer, but I'm not going to fully disregard it because the reports that have been coming out recently, were contrast to the ones that were coming out. The other day, not too long ago either. Yeah, yesterday, the reports that were coming out were contrast to the ones, recently. Because the other ones recently, said that James Maddison is expected to sign a new contract with Leicester. James Maddison at the moment has got around 3 years remaining on his current contract with Leicester. And Brendan Rodgers did reveal that Leicester, have been in negotiations, over getting Maddison a new contract for quite some time now. And Rodgers does insist that James Maddison is happy with Leicester. Now, there's been quite a few clubs that have expressed their interest in the player. Yes, there is. And Man United have been relentlessly linked to him, Don't forget we was in for him last summer. Now, I think, Man United are seeing James Maddison as an alternative to Jack Grealish, because there has been reports emerging out saying that Man United could miss out on Jack Grealish. And the main explanation for this is following, the incident with his £80,000 Range Rover recently. Grealish has been fined £150,000 for this. He's come out and made a public apologies, Jack Grealish, because he feels embarrassed about the incident. And, this incident happened, hours before he advised people to stay at home due to the coronavirus outbreak. So he does feel embarrassed about, the incident. But yeah, so we're seeing James Maddison as an alternative. Me estimating this, I think, James Maddison would cost us in the 60 odd or 70 odd million pound region. That's how much it costs us in the 60 odd or 70 odd million pound range. Would James Maddison, because Leicester, wouldn't want to let him go on the cheap. And Leicester have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years, like I mentioned before. They lost Maguire, they lost Danny Drinkwater, they lost Kante, they lost Raheem Mahrez in the summer of 2018, so they wouldn't want to lose James Maddison. But, Leicester paid, £20 million in from Norwich in the summer of 2018, and Leicester would get probably at least treble than what they paid for him. Definitely. They're getting the 60 odd or 70 odd million pound range. James Maddison is now into his second season with Leicester. I think he's made around 70 appearances in all competitions. 64 of those appearances have come in the Premier League. And he's been a revelation for them. I think this season, James Maddison is replicating what he did in his first season. In his first season, James Maddison created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. So that was a very, very good start. Maddison, did enjoy 2 good years with Norwich. I think he had 2 years with Norwich. He also enjoyed the loan spell with Aberdeen in Scotland, and he began his career with Coventry. James Maddison is 23 years of age, and he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. Don't get me wrong, I think he'd complement our midfield really, really well, and I do believe he'd go well alongside Bruno Fernandes in that. And, we've got other good midfielders as well. We've got Fred, that's made a real impact. He's made an impact as Fred, We got Fred in the summer of 2018 from Shakhtar Donetsk. We paid around £50 million for Fred. And he was exceptional in Ukraine. Under Jose Mourinho, didn't really get the opportunities, did Fred. But, under Solskjaer, Fred's been given them opportunities. And he's been very, very impressive. So you've got to give Fred a lot of credit, because he has really, really rejuvenated himself. Matic, he's recently rejuvenated himself. He's now into his 3rd season at the club. Manchester United paid £40 million for Matic. Don't forget, the other week we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. We give him that contract, reflecting on his good run of performances. And I've also been very, very impressed with McTominay. He was good early on this season since he's come back from injury. McTominay's made a real good impact. But even though we've got some good midfielders, we still need one in there. But I would be excited about the prospects of Maddison coming in, because he's also well proven in the Premier League. So he's one midfielder Man United could possibly sign in the summer. Now, another one is Saul Niguez. Now, obviously, we're seeing Saul Niguez as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Basically, what the club are planning to do is obviously, sell Paul Pogba for around £100 odd million, generate that money, then put that money on Saul Niguez. But reports were saying yesterday that Manchester United are set to miss out on the transfer of Saul Niguez in the summer. The main explanation for this is because Man United are not willing to meet what Atletico Madrid are demanding. Reportedly, Man United are only willing to pay around £70 million, and that's only around half of than what Atletico Madrid want, because Atletico Madrid have revealed they want around £132 million, and that's his actual release clause, because Saul Niguez back in 2017 signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid. and as it stands now, he's got around 6 years remaining on his contract to Saul Niguez, because he's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026. But the £130 odd million figure would make him a record signing in the Premier League and one of the world's most expensive signings. Also, too, I think Manchester City have expressed their interest in the player. Now, Saul Niguez He's spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think now this is his 12th season with Atletico Madrid. So he has been a long-serving player. He's made 286 appearances in all competitions as Saul Niguez, and he's at the age of 25. He can play as a central or a defensive midfielder. When he was younger, he was predominantly a centre-half with Saul Niguez. So he's been another player on Manchester United's agenda. There's been a few Atletico Madrid players in our agenda, Thomas Lemar, Thomas Partey. So there's been a few of them on our agenda. So he's another midfielder that Manchester United could possibly sign in the summer. He's another midfielder that Manchester United could possibly sign in the summer. Now, obviously, Jude Bellingham, he's been another midfielder on Manchester United's agenda. I don't know if Manchester United are going to sign him in the summer, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, according to recent reports, Borussia Dortmund are emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham, because it said, was it earlier on this week, that, Borussia Dortmund are a signature away from completing the transfer of Jude Bellingham. This is what it had said. Jude Bellingham is valued at around £30 million by Birmingham. Also, Jude Bellingham had give his verdict on, his visit to the Carrington training ground quite a few weeks back now, and he said, it was a very, very good visit, to be quite honest with you, because don't forget, Jude Bellingham had held negotiations with Alex Ferguson. Also, too, his parents had held negotiations with Ed Woodward over a possible move to Manchester United in the summer transfer window. There's obviously been Bayern Munich, Chelsea. I think Liverpool have also expressed their interest in Jude Bellingham, but Borussia Dortmund are emerged as the favourites to sign the player. And it's only his first season in the senior squad with Birmingham. Up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Birmingham. He's been a Birmingham player since the age of 8 as the player. But he's still inexperienced at the moment. Don't forget, he's only the age of 16. He became the youngest player ever to represent Birmingham. He made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days, did the player. And he's played persistently this season. He's played around 30 odd games in the Championship, and I've got to say, Bellingham has been a revelation. He's expected to sign his professional contract in the summer when he does turn 17 years of age, because Jude Bellingham is on around £145 a week at the moment, and he's predominantly a number 10 is the player. But yeah, he's expected to cost around £30 odd million, but I don't think his Premier League standard is yet. I don't think he's at that elite level. I think Birmingham City do need to give him at least another season in the Championship to gain more experience. But Borussia Dortmund are actually seeing Jude Bellingham as an adequate replacement for Jadon Sancho, because Jadon Sancho is expected to leave Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season, and Man United are the favourites to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer. And as you all know, Jadon Sancho is going to cost us around £120 million, at least £100 million. But either figure is going to make him a record signing in the Premier League and make him our most expensive signing. And I was reading Sky Sports yesterday, it did say that, Jadon Sancho could remain at Dortmund if the season is extended until July. But I think he's leaving Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund, by the way, do remain ruthless over their valuation. They're not going to let Jadon Sancho go on the cheap, even with this coronavirus pandemic. So Dortmund have come out and said, Man United have got to meet their full asking price to convince them to offload him. Yeah, and they do want around £120 million. Man United are willing to offer him the iconic number 7. And I think he'd operate very, very well in number 7, because we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, and Sancho would do really, really well. Don't forget, Rashford come out and said, he wants to see Jadon Sancho at Man United next season. Him alongside Martial and Rashford, they complement each other really, really well. And Sancho's got a fantastic friendship with Marcus Rashford. So that's another beneficial thing about him coming. Another beneficial thing about Sancho coming is that, he's proven in the Premier League because he enjoyed a couple of years with Manchester City. But the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he didn't get enough first team opportunities. And I think he can, replicate, what he's done in the few years he's been with Dortmund, because this is now his third season with Borussia Dortmund is Jadon Sancho's, and I've got to say he's been a revelation in Germany. He's still got around 2 years left in his contract with Borussia Dortmund as the player. But the Borussia Dortmund CEO did say he will not stand in Jadon Sancho's way if he wants to leave Dortmund in the summer transfer window. But yeah, it's all confirmed, I think, now, because the Irish Independent came out, not too long ago, and they said that it's unofficially confirmed that Sancho will join Manchester United in the summer transfer window. So yeah, so Borussia Dortmund couldn't accept the fact he wants to leave, so they're seeing Bellingham as his replacement. Fabrizio Romano revealed the other week that Man United have been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for 2 months, and we've been working on his contract. Man United are willing to offer Jadon Sancho around £400,000 a week, which will make him our best played player, as well as, our most expensive signing. But yeah, I'm excited about, Jadon Sancho coming in. He's predominantly a right winger, and Man United are in search for a right winger. Occasionally, I think you can play in centrally, but Sancho is only at the age of 20. So, revert back to what I said. Which midfielder should Manchester United sign in the summer transfer window? Probably a lot of United fans would say Jack Grealish. Some United fans would say James Maddison. Some United fans would say Sol Niguez. I don't know, but which midfielder, would you recommend in to Manchester United? Now, obviously, it's good anyway, that Solskjaer is making plans for, the summer transfer window. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager in the summer transfer window, it will be his 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, because so far Solskjaer has enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the club. He didn't recommend anyone in his first transfer window, but in the past 2 transfer windows, he has recruited 5 players in and spent around £220 million. Yes, he has. And I've got to give Solskjaer a lot of credit, for the players that he has recruited in so far. I also do believe that Solskjaer's planning on getting rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer transfer window. The players I expect us to get rid of in the summer, I expect Man United to get rid of Phil Jones, because he can't even get in the team now, because you've got Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first choice centre-halves. And you've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backup centre-halves. And obviously, you've got Luke Shaw that's played as centre-half a few times. So Jones is not going to get in the team. And Jones has been a long-serving player here. He's now into his 9th season as a Manchester United player. So he's been here since the Ferguson era. Also, too, Lingard and Pereira, I can assure they'll be 2 players that will be moved on, because they are both liabilities, Lingard and Andres Pereira. I also do believe that we'll negotiate on getting rid of Sanchez on a permanent transfer. Sanchez is on loan at Inter Milan at the moment. Despite the fact that he's on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages, but we need to get rid of him permanently, to free up our wage bill completely, because when Sanchez was at Man United, it was totally affecting our wage structure, because he was on like 400 grand a week at the football club. But Sanchez endured difficult 18 months at Man United. I think we'll negotiate on getting rid of Rojo on a permanent transfer as well, because he's on loan at Estudiantes. We could possibly get rid of Foster Mensah. We'll probably more than likely get rid of Smalling on a permanent transfer, because he's on loan at Roma at the moment. Smalling did endure 9 years at Manchester United. So we could get rid of around maybe 6, maybe even 7 players in the summer transfer window. But the good news is that we'll generate some money for some of the players that we do get rid of in the summer. And obviously a lot of players have left anyway since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. So I've got to credit him for that as well. He has got rid of a lot of the deadwood. And we have generated some money for some of the players that have left since Solskjaer's come in. Don't forget we got £70 odd million for Lukaku. We got obviously just over £1 million for Young this year because he joined Inter Milan after he enjoyed 8.5 years at Man United. We got about £1 million for Darmian last summer. But obviously, quite a few players have also, been loaned out. We've got Dean Henderson out on loan, but he's expected to come back to Manchester United after his loan spell with Sheffield United. Probably more than likely, though, Dean Henderson De Gea, sorry, will remain our number one goalkeeper. I don't know, to be quite honest with you. There's been rumours saying that possibly David De Gea could leave Manchester United. There's been rumours about that, going on. But yeah, so Solskjaer, has basically identified the areas, where he thinks Manchester United need to strengthen up. He wants to bring a right winger in, and he also wants to recommend a central midfielder in. This is what he wants to do. And, Solskjaer believes Manchester United need around 3 signings in the summer transfer window if we are to be title contenders next season. Now, obviously, from my own perception, even if we do end the season bad when it does eventually resume, I still think, Manchester United should not sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think Solskjaer does deserve at least another season with Manchester United. See how it goes next season, and if it doesn't work out, that's when I would get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. Because there's a few positives, you can definitely, take from his tenure. And so far that is. And the positives you can take is reflect on the players he's recruited in. Also, too, Solskjaer's progresses to the last 8 of the Europa League. He's also progresses to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and they are 2 ambitions for us because that's a chance of us getting some silverware on the board. He's also promoted the youth very, very well. The young players have been given their opportunities this season. The young players have been given their opportunities. Greenwood, I think he's been a revelation this season for Manchester United as Mason Greenwood. I think he's got like 12 or 13 goals in all competitions this season. You can play him as a number 9. You can also play him on the right. He seldom starts in the Premier League because he started more in the cup games this season. But you can say he's a good backup. I think in next year or two we'll end up overtaking Marcus Rashford or Mason Greenwood. But this is his first full season in the senior squad. Got to give Brandon Williams a lot of credit because he's done very, very well. And this is his first full season in the senior squad. By the way, Solskjaer's changed his transfer plans. Now, reportedly, he's not going to recommend a left back in. So that's going to save Man United around £50 million. I don't think we really need a left back because Williams has done well. He's still inexperienced though. Luke Shaw's, I think he's our first choice left back. But since Luke Shaw's come back from injury, he's really made an impact. Tuan Zebe, he did well early on in the season. Garner, Man United fans want to see him get more opportunities next season. So, yeah. Chong, I think his appearances have been limited again of Chong's. But, I should believe, he'll get more opportunities, next season and that. So there's a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve and that. But it's good that the young players have been given their chance. But Solskjaer said anyway when he first came into Man United, that everybody would get their chances to express themselves. And another thing I credit Solskjaer for, he has got a lot of honesty about him. Our record against the big 6 sides this season's been very, very good because we've registered like 17 points against the big 6 sides this season. And yeah, so they're the positives, you can definitely take. They're the positives and we are unbeaten. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. And Solskjaer still under pressure, to keep this good run of form up, when the season does eventually resume. But this has been our best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. Now, we did make a mistake giving him the job permanently, but the main explanation why we're giving the job permanently is reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager, because he did really, really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager, did Solskjaer. Won his first 8 games, only lost 1 of his first 17 in all competitions and won 14 out of 19 in all competitions. And that was enough to give him the job permanently. And obviously, the negatives are, since he got the job permanently, his record has been disastrous because we'd lost 5 of our last 9 league games towards the back end of last season. And this season, we've enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. We've enjoyed our worst start for around 30 years. and we haven't been so good against lower opposition and that. And we've had some bad results under Solskjaer, and Solskjaer's been tactically naive for the vast majority of this season, so they are the negatives. But he does deserve at least one more transfer window, because analysing the vast majority of these players, they are not Solskjaer's. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's, because Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into Manchester United. You know, there's still a couple of players here from the Van Gaal era, Matty from the David Moyes era, and there's Jones and there's Ferguson. There's Jones and there's De Gea, sorry, from the Alex Ferguson era. And Man United have recruited over 30 odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era, and we've spent around, is it nearly £1 billion on bringing new players in, and we've had different managers with different philosophies. But, you know, Solskjaer's our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era, and Man United haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, even though we've sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. But I probably believe Solskjaer, you know, will be Manchester United manager next season. But Solskjaer's got the backing of Ed Woodward, he's got the backing of the Glazers, and he's also, you know, got the backing of quite a lot of the players. Some managers do deserve time, because Jurgen Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool. You know, it took him time to get him to a level where he's at now. You also saw Ferguson, when we first recommended him in, he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. So some managers, you know, do deserve time and that. But there hasn't only been problems with the management throughout the course of this season anyway. Also, another positive is that, you know, we have extended quite a lot of players' contracts, especially since Solskjaer came in. That's another positive you can take as well. But yeah. But, you know, before the season was suspended due to the coronavirus, I've said to you, didn't I, a lot of aspects of our game have improved. We've scored more goals, we've created more chances, our football looks more expansive and that. So that is very, very good to see. Solskjaer's in regular contact with the players via the WhatsApp, because the Premier League clubs are in lockdown. So let's just put that into the equation. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, like, on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.